Ronda Rousey was the obvious target for Becky and Charlotte, but Ronda immediately went on the offensive, bullying Becky back in the corner. And then turning her attention to Charlotte Flair. Ronda wanted to prove immediately that despite the stature of her opponents, that it was she who was the dominant WWE superstar. Outside the ring, Ronda would not let up, connecting with a Piper's Pit, not only to Becky that threw her into the barricade, but also to Charlotte Flair, planting her onto the floor. A second attempt at Piper's Pit on Becky proved to be Rousey's biggest mistake, with Becky shaking free and throwing Ronda into the ring post. Trying to keep her momentum, Ronda ran right into a boot from Becky, staggering her long enough to allow Charlotte Flair to perform a suplex of her own to send Ronda into the barricade herself. Rousey had overwhelmed Charlotte and Becky with her blitzing offense, but Becky was able to compose herself quickly enough to avoid another Piper's Pit, leaving Ronda on the defensive early in the bout. Now, as we all know, a triple threat match is every superstar for themselves. But despite not being friendly with each other, Charlotte and Becky realized that it might be best for them to focus their efforts on Ronda. Looking for a double powerbomb, Ronda would manage to reverse, putting Charlotte in an armbar. But this freed Becky and allowed her to drill Ronda with a low drop kick. With Ronda out of the way, now the Queen and the Man had the ring all to themselves. With Ronda still down and out, Charlotte looked to take it up a notch. Her standard knee drop was made more devastating by the removal of her knee pad, and now Becky Lynch was in a bad situation. Charlotte did not let up, repeatedly slamming Becky's face into the mat. Charlotte was making the most of Ronda Rousey being down, willing to put Becky through the mat if it meant she'd leave WrestleMania as the Raw and SmackDown Women's Champion. When Charlotte tried to interrupt a reverse DDT to Ronda, Becky just added her to the mix, hitting a standard and reverse DDT combo to both. While her attempts at getting the pin failed both times, Becky was now in firm control and didn't show any signs of letting up. Eventually, Rousey found her momentum again and managed the jaw-dropping feat of placing both Becky and Charlotte into arm bars. Realizing that they were better together, Charlotte and Becky would turn the tide on Ronda. Muscling her up and hitting her with a series of double-team power bombs. Ronda did her best to fight free, but was overwhelmed by powerbomb after powerbomb. The two worked well together, but that wasn't the plan. The second she no longer needed help, Charlotte sent Becky to the floor. Charlotte knew exactly what needed to be done in that ring, looking to get the pin when she saw Ronda down. The Queen was in top shape, and despite not getting the pin, she was rolling. Finally, Ronda broke free, and I remember thinking this was it once she hit Becky with that huge running knee. It was academic at that point. She rolled Becky to set her up for Piper's Pit, struggling through the exhaustion and pain to lift her up. And then Becky did the unthinkable. Reversing into a crucifix pin, she was able to surprise the former MMA champion with a pinfall to win the match.
Becky Lynch is the winner.
Ronda was not happy, feeling she'd gotten her shoulder up, but the decision stood, and Becky was named the winner. All three women left it all in the ring. While Charlotte and Ronda were not thrilled in failing to win, neither had any reason to hang their head in shame. Standing in the ring, holding both titles high, Becky Lynch's arduous road to WrestleMania had finally reached its epic conclusion. Becky etches her name into the history books, victorious in the first ever WrestleMania women's main event, leaving as both Raw and SmackDown Women's Champion after pinning Ronda Rousey in the center of the ring. A stellar performance by everyone involved, but it's Becky who had just that little bit extra to get her hand raised. It was another landmark performance by the man.